Hello, my name is Alok Jain, and today I'm going to talk about the future of work trends. Vast topic, but I'll cover at least a few trends, especially what impacts how to prepare the next generation. Quick intro about ourselves. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Moonpreneur, and we are fostering innovative and entrepreneurial mindset and helping the next generation for the college admission and future of work. Quick thing, I'm sure many of you are noticing this. The high skill jobs from healthcare, science, technology, STEM, engineering, mathematics, they are going to proliferate, will become more in demand, where the middle and low skill jobs like food service to production work, all these are going to diminish, especially AI is going to eliminate many of these. There are already predictions that by 2030, 1 in 16 workers may need to switch occupations. That's almost 6% of the worker need to reskill. Quite a large number in such a short time. Three key trends today I like to talk about when we think about the future of work: e-commerce, remote work, and then the adoption of automation and AI. So when it comes to e-commerce, right now, if we look at the US numbers, we are seeing around $512 billion e-commerce market, and it is growing by 11% plus CAGR. So by 27, this is going to become $1.4 trillion dollar market. About 15% right now, the retail sale is e-commerce in US. But globally, that number is much larger. The global e-commerce share is about 19% already, and the sale is somewhere in $16.6 trillion. By 2028, that will become over $70 trillion. So the globally, the CAGR for e-commerce is looking somewhere in 25 to 28% year over year. So very strong trend, what we are seeing here. Now about the remote work and adoption of AI. So we do not know how the market is going to look after 10 years. If you look at from Deloitte to Gartner to McKinsey, World Economic Forum, many announcements happen anywhere from they are saying in the next 10 to 15 years, 300 million to maybe 800 million job will be eliminated. Different theories, but if you look at near term, by 2025, the AI is going to kill 85 million jobs, but simultaneously it is creating 97 million new jobs. So we are going to see over next 2.5 years, net gain of at least 12 million jobs, which is going to happen in big data and machine learning, information security, digital marketing. All these numbers are coming from World Economic Forum. So I think a great opportunity is, especially in the immediate term. The next trend is really the whole gig economy. When we think about future of work, Uber to DoorDash to Airbnb and so on. Right now, if you look at the 23 trend, $455 billion USD has been transacted in gig economy. In 2021, 33 million performed contingent work, which generated 1.7 trillion revenue. The US workforce in 2021 around 160 million. So we are talking very large number there. About 15 to 20% workforce is actively engaged in this activity. But look at these numbers. This research is done by Upwork. And what they are saying, by 2027, the contingent workforce, or the workforce which is like more freelancer, gig worker, that will take over the non-freelancers. So we are talking barely a handful of years from here, less than 5 years, and we are going to see this whole big change and huge impact on the economy. And if you see, and that's what I think I want to allude more today, how to prepare the next generation if more than 50% jobs are going to become contingent by 2027, and who knows, after 10 years from today, the number could become more than 70%. For that kind of market, how we prepare our next generation. And one trend you will see, the freelancers are preparing for the future. That number is 55% versus 30% others. So basically, when you are a freelancer or you are building your own authority, because as a freelancer, you must have a skill. Let's say tech skill, but on top of that, you also need to have a selling skill, because you always need to keep selling yourself. And that's where keep up to date, keep reskilling becomes even more important. And that's what we see as a freelancer. You always need to keep upskilling and reskilling. Moving forward, when it comes to remote work, another key trend for like future of work, and any number which I am telling, if I'm not calling it out, they are primarily USA numbers. So currently, close to 12.7% of full-time employees, they work from home. but that number will become 32.6 million by 2025. We are talking a very large population going to work from home. Like by 2025, we might have about 168 or 169 million total US worker. And if you just see the numbers, we are talking a very high percentage of people doing something like this. 16% of companies operate fully remote, so very strong trend. Of course, there are huge repercussions on the commercial real estate and all that. I'm not going to include those details in this deck, but I think just changing the workforce, remote work, you can imagine the kind of reckoning is going to happen there. These are the skills of future, from analytical thinking to problem solving to critical thinking. Lifelong learning, I think that's very important. Active learning, keep yourself up to date. Entrepreneurship, leadership. So all those are going to become like major. And this is where we as Moonpreneur, if you see some of our program, we have both rails. On the one rail is really the tech, where we are giving 90-minute session on tech, whether it is AI, ML, or apps, or robotics, or automation, whatsoever. But simultaneously, there is another session on soft skill or entrepreneurial skill. We want to make sure they both goes hand to hand, just to get our student ready for the future. Generative AI, huge brouhaha in the market, and from content creation to supply chain optimization, to improve customer service and many other verticals. You can see like numerous application happen through generative AI. If you see them in terms of numbers, so what McKinsey came out with, they are saying generative AI could add 2.6 trillion to 4.4 trillion annually to the global economy. We are talking a very large number here. In just context, the world GDP is about 100 trillion. So you can see 3 to 4% of impact it can create on annual basis for next many years. At the same time, if you see the countries which are facing the skill shortage, from Japan to Turkey to Greece, India, Germany, the US, many more, huge opportunity, but at the same time, the skilled workforce is not there. And especially if you see the US education system, since so many things are connected, federally funded, a lot of things are very clunky. If you want to introduce a new program or a learning kit or anything, it just takes forever. The world is changing very fast. So I think some of those gaps, they were even there before the pandemic or all this generative AI. Now those gaps are widening and something need to be done there. If you see this chart, so this is really about the skill shortage at business unit wise or company size wise, so you can just get a good understanding where are the gaps. If you think the current student mindset, especially the future of college and work and how this thing is going to shape up, so only last few years we are seeing the college admission going down in US. In 2016, right after high school, the number was 70% enrollment, which became 63% in 2020. So major shift. Only in last few years we are seeing ever in history, except the wartime. 2019 to 2022, it became like 8% less enrollment, and people thought like that was due to the pandemic, but 2023 is no different. We saw another 2.4% enrollment going down. At the same time, first time certificate earners increased by almost 9%. So that just tells like people are switching to short-term programs, more vocational training and things like that. And there are many reasons behind it. Of course, the population is shrinking. The birth rate is shrinking after 2008 downturn, and that is going to have 15% decrease in college enrollment after 2025. So major impact there. But at the same time, if you look at the student debt or how many graduates work in the field related to their degrees, especially now when so many things are changing, and the college cost since 1974, it has doubled. So a lot of students are questioning really the worthiness of college degree. But if you look at the stats, the college students with the college education or degree versus high schooler, there is almost 65 to 70% wage difference. But would this trend continue to hold in future? Nobody knows, because so many companies have announced, very large companies from Google of the world to Teslas and many more, including many state governments, that to get a job, they do not need a college degree. So that is changing. If you look at the decision maker who are 14 to 18-year-old who are going to take the decision where they want to go to college or not, that number was sitting somewhere in 60%. Yes, they want to pursue further study, but post-pandemic, the latest survey says this number sits at 45%. So we are talking less than 50% students believe that college education is worth it. Whatever we are seeing, especially in the college enrollment and the future of work, are going to have a huge impact. And this is our try at Moonpreneur. In next 5 years, let's say by 2026, 2027, can we get to a point where if we are providing enough right kind of skills to our middle schooler or high schooler, can we get them job ready when they are ready to go in the job market? So that is one of our mission statement, and we are making very good progress there. Education transformation certainly needed to bridge this gap. Especially, I shown you the slide. The country is facing greatest the skill shortage. If you see, many surveys has been done, and what they are telling that there will be 85 million jobs which will not be filled by 2030 because of the skill gap. So how we do it, how we teach our students, especially the young students, critical thinking, problem solving, digital literacy, STEM, and more, and soft skill. I mean, Deloitte is already saying by 2030, soft skill jobs are predicted to make up 63% of all jobs. So I think this is becoming more and more crucial. And embracing the entrepreneurship. So that's really a core part of it. In our education, we start pretty much at innovation, but then it's entrepreneurship and innovation goes hand to hand. So even if you are in our robotics course or apps or any other program, you will simultaneously be learning soft skill, entrepreneurial skill, where we'll teach you how to learn something, how to build something, and then how to take it to the market. So thanks again for your consideration. We'll come back with more stats on future of work. So thank you.